The president of TFC came out and said that they support the Canadian Premier League and they want to even be involved in it, but they shouldn't come into Toronto, is essentially what he said. And it was a thinly veiled threat that if you come into Toronto, we're going to fight you. And basically the implication was that Toronto is ours, that this is our territory and you can't come in. And it ignores the convention around the world of having multiple clubs, particularly two big clubs in a major city all around the world. It's pretty damn normal. So the idea that the city of Toronto, one of the largest cities in North America, can't support two teams is patently ridiculous, but especially two teams in which one of them is looking to get 5,000-6,000 a game and the other is established. It's silly. But yeah, TFC is absolutely looking at this purely from a business perspective when they come into conversations like that. They don't want to compete for marketing dollars. Like we're standing in front of BMO Field right now, and in my eye line I can see 3 separate different corporate sponsorship banners around here, right? They don't want to fight for that. They don't want to have Mark's Warehouse, which is behind us, Mark's Work Warehouse, which is behind us. They don't want to fight to have them go, well, maybe we'll go here because it's a little cheaper. They don't want BMO, which supports soccer all over the country, to divide the pie up any further. They don't want Pizza to go, maybe we'll go over here because it's a little bit cheaper or whatever. Ignoring the fact that there's, Pizza Hut and Domino's and all that, there's lots of money out there to go around in a city this size, and it's kind of silly, but also it sort of speaks, I think, to a North American franchise mindset where you do get territories and you do protect them, and it's just what you're used to. And when you're representing a company like MLSE, Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, then yeah, you're going to think in those ways. And it's not like, if you look at it from their hockey team, they fight it on that level too. This market could easily support probably 6 NHL teams, but that will never happen because the Leafs are the Leafs and they're going to protect that with all the power they have. And it's going to be a tough slug for any Canadian Premier League team that does come into Toronto for that very reason, because they will fight it and they will try and turn corporate sponsors against it. And that's maybe why the Canadian Premier League might not launch with a team directly in Toronto. They might go peripheral, but they're probably not going to go directly in the city. And I think the biggest thing behind it was to make sure that the ownership that they brought in was big and was financially able to handle losses. They're going to be in the red for several years, just like Major League Soccer was in the red for several years, and some would argue still is. You need to be able to lose money to eventually make money, to have your franchise value, your club value go up so that you have some success out of it. That's what the game's all about, right? And the type of names that I've heard attached to this are things like True North Entertainment, which is who brought the Winnipeg Jets back to Winnipeg. I've heard that a name here in Toronto which would blow people's minds away if he does come in. I've been sworn to secrecy on saying who it is, but nonetheless, it's someone that has money and success in the game elsewhere. Draw the math if you want. Big names, big billionaire names, like I say. Katz Group in Edmonton's been rumored perhaps to be involved. They've denied it, but they've been rumored. They own Rexall. Like, these are major players in the world of business here, and they've been convinced that this is a long-term investment that can pay off, and it's also something I think that has a way of helping them with stadium investment and filling their stadiums and their facilities up for more dates per year. So it's all tied into that sort of modern business sense, and that's not really sexy from a soccer perspective, but it is what it is, and it's going to be needed because it costs a lot of money to fly across the country a bunch of times, and to not just fly yourself across the country a bunch of times, you're flying like 30 people across a bunch of times, and for 5,000 people in the stands. So we'll see how this goes, but the money I've heard is pretty big.